live.
Hi, so my name is Dr. Allie Mendelson, and I am a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor for about 27 years, almost, a couple of more weeks, maybe 27 years. So today I'm going to be teaching you about the truth about cancer. The truth, where it comes from, what causes it, how to prevent it, which is very important, how to recover from it. We're going to go over like the top 3 cancers, all the like major causes, and there's a lot of hope in learning about this because there's a lot of fear with cancer because we don't know. What we don't know, we fear a lot of times. And of course the medical community, it's terrifying for them because it's not really a cure for it. And so they instill a lot of fear in patients, and there's just not a lot of knowledge about what it is. But what causes cancer is just very, very simple. It's a very simple cause. We're going to get into that, but what I'm going to start, I'm going to read you a story. You guys can hear me? I'm going to read you a story from this book called Blue Zones. The last talk I did was on longevity, and I did talk a lot about the blue zones. And you can go on YouTube and Facebook and watch that talk as well. But I'm going to read you a story about a man, and this is going to encompass a lot of what we're going to talk about today. So his name is Stamatis. So, okay, Stamatis came to the United States. No. Yes, okay, so this man was from Greece. He was from a small town island in the Aegean Sea called Icaria. And he came to the United States seeking treatment for his hand, which was mangled in a munitions accident. But he decided to stay. And this was in the 50s. He settled in Port Jefferson, New York, where he got a job painting houses and schools. He quickly gained a reputation for honesty and a good work ethic. Opportunity and higher pay took him to Ohio and then on to Boynton Beach, Florida, where he once painted Rose Kennedy's house. Along the way, he married Allie, a Greek-American woman, 13 years his junior, had 3 children, bought a 3-bedroom house and a 1951 Chevy. In short, he achieved the American dream. And one day at work, Stamatis, now in his early 60s, not now, but during the time that he told the story, during the time in the story, he was in his early 60s, he felt short of breath. It seemed to be happening more and more often, and he would fatigue quickly. Climbing stairs was a chore. Often he was forced to put down his brush by midday. His doctor took x-rays and quickly concluded that he had lung cancer, perhaps from years of inhaling paint fumes or his 3-pack-a-day smoking habit. Yeah. He wasn't sure why. Four more doctors confirmed the diagnosis, and they gave him 6 to 9 months to live. So Stamatis considered staying in Boynton Beach, where he could seek aggressive cancer treatment at the local hospital. That would allow him to remain close to his 3 children, who are now adults. Or it occurred to him he could return to Icaria. There he could be buried with his parents in a sloping cemetery shaded by oak trees, overlooking a cobalt blue Aegean Sea. So a funeral in Boynton Beach would cost at least $1,200, while a nice funeral in Icaria would cost only about $200, leaving more of his retirement for his wife and his children. So he decided to move back to Icaria and die among his countrymen and ancestors. So Stamatis and Allie moved in with his elderly parents in a tiny whitewashed house on 2 acres of rolling vineyards outside the town of Agios Kyrikos on the island's eastern coast. Year-round sea breezes, legendary since the time of Ulysses, blew through this part of the island. At first, he spent his days in bed as his wife and mother tended to him. Sensing the end was near, he decided to reconnect with his religion. And on Sunday mornings, he forced himself out of the house and hobbled up the hill to a tiny Greek Orthodox chapel where his grandfather had once served as a priest. When his childhood friends discovered that he had moved back, they started visiting him regularly. They would talk for hours. invariably bringing him the locally produced wine, which he sipped all day long. What the hell, he thought, I might as well die happy. In the ensuing months, something strange happened. He started to feel stronger. He got out of bed in the afternoon and shuffled around the gardens and vineyards behind the house. One day, feeling ambitious, he planted some potatoes, green onions, garlic, and carrots. He didn't expect to be alive to harvest them, but he enjoyed feeling the sunshine, breathing the clean ocean air, and getting his hands dirty with the soil of his birth. El Panique could enjoy the fresh vegetables after he was gone. That's what he thought. So 6 months came and went, and he didn't die. Instead, he harvested the garden and, feeling emboldened, cleaned up the family's vineyard as well. Easing himself into the island routine, he woke up late, worked in the vineyards until mid-afternoon, made himself lunch, and then took a long nap. In the evenings, he either drank wine with friends at home or walked to the local tavern, where he stayed up past midnight playing dominoes. The years passed.
Oh, wow.
His health continued to improve. He added a couple of rooms to his parents' homestead so his children could visit. He built up the vineyard, producing 400 gallons of wine a year. Today, 35 years later, he is 100 years old and cancer-free.
Oh, wow.
He never went through chemotherapy, took drugs, or sought therapy of any kind. All he did was move home and live a clean, healthy life. So farm and hang out with his friends and drink some wine and be out in the sun and reduce his stress. And he couldn't get cigarettes there, I found out. And so that's what this talk is about. Well, let me just tell you one thing. So the guy who wrote the book interviewed him. So he interviewed him during the time he was researching it, and a couple of years later he called him just to check on him, and he was, and he wanted to ask him some more questions. So he said, he was talking to him on the phone, he goes, I had one last question. He had one last question for him. He said, did you ever figure out exactly how you recovered from lung cancer? And Stomata said, it just went away, he said. Quote, I actually went back to America about 10 years after moving here to see if the doctors could explain it to me. And so the author's like, what happened? He's like, my doctors were all dead.
Wow.
Oh, Jay. Was that something? Wow.
That's normal to recover from cancer. What's normal is to never get cancer. But what that story is about, that encompasses everything we're going to talk about, is that his lifestyle, his stress, the toxins from the paint, the 3 packs of cigarettes, the lack of sleep, the overwhelming stress, the no connection to his religion, no connection to his friends, made him sick. Instead of just he got no treatment, he just went to die, and you heard the story, and then he recovered. And you can recover from anything. And so what you're going to learn today is how did he recover from cancer, and how anyone can recover, and most importantly, what you do and how you live so that you don't get cancer. And that's the most important part, because you want to prevent it, right? You want to prevent it first and foremost. And so, beyond cancer awareness, like there's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Isn't there like all these cancer awareness?
Yes.
I hate that. It's like, okay, let's be aware of it.
Yes.
And then let's raise money by selling cookies and ice cream and pizza. And everyone, right? Have you been to some of these like walks where you go to this breast cancer awareness run, and then they have all these cookies at the end, and all of these are terrible, terrible things. And this is not going to help you prevent. It's not awareness, right? It's not awareness. It's beyond awareness. So that's my mission. So I've been doing this for a long time, and my mission is to just help people understand how to take care of your body, like what you do, how to live, so that you live a long and healthy life, right? It's not about going on I'm going to talk about nutrition, but it's not about going on a diet, because that doesn't work. And I'm going to talk about exercise, but it's not only about exercising, and it's not one thing. It's just there's a few things that you need to do, and we get into all of it, right? but there's always something that you can do to be healthier. And just having an awareness of how your body functions and what causes problems is the most important thing to understand in order to prevent it, in order to heal. Right? 'Cause if you don't have any hope, why would you make any changes? Right? If you're just said, well, you have diabetes and that's it, sorry, that's it. Nothing you can do. You're just gonna just do whatever you want. But if like, oh, you have diabetes? Oh, we can reverse that. Here's what you do. And then you can do those things, and then you'll want to do those things. You'll have like a reason to do, you'll have hope. So I just had a patient get off insulin in a week. I see that all the time, right? I mean, because she's like, oh, I know that my body can heal. But I literally see that all the time, people get off insulin in a week. So when it comes to cancer, your immune system is your best friend. Well, when it comes to anything, right, your immune system is your best friend. But to have a strong, healthy immune system is your biggest advocate against fighting and killing cancer. Because all mammals, not just humans, all mammals always have cancer cells, these mutations in their body. So every day you're making 100 to 10,000 cancer cells in your body. Just cells mutate, things happen. But if you have a strong, healthy immune system, the job of your immune system is to locate and seek out bad cells. Oh, that's something wrong. Is that a virus? Is that a bacteria? This is not supposed to be here. This is wrong. And it takes care of it and destroys it. So you want a strong, healthy immune system in order to be able to fight that. What we do in our lifestyle destroys our immune system. And again, it's because we don't understand. So if you have a fever, most people will take, or if your children have a fever, most people are like, oh my gosh, I have a fever, my kid has a fever, this is terrible, I'm going to take an aspirin or an ibuprofen to lower the fever, right? No, you should never lower your fever. Your body is always doing the right thing at the right time all the time. If you have a fever, or if your child has a fever, that means that there's something attacking the body. Maybe it's a virus, and you'll have a low-grade fever. Maybe it's a bacteria, and you'll have 102. But what your body does is if it detects a bacteria, it will raise your temperature to 102, 103, 104, even 105 degrees, because heat kills bacteria. Isn't that what pasteurization is? Right? You pasteurize milk to kill bacteria. Heat kills bacteria. Your body will actually create heat, enough heat to kill the bacteria. But we don't know that, so we lower our temperature. And when you lower your temperature, your body's like, okay, well, we have to get that temperature back, and it will raise your temperature again, and then you'll lower your right? And then you take another ibuprofen to lower it. What you're doing when you're doing that is you're beating down your immune system. You're shutting it down, shutting it down, shutting it down, and it's not going to work anymore. If you have a cough, it means something got into your lung, your immune system is going in there, killing it, whatever it is, and then your body's like, well, coughing it out. But then we take these cough medicine to suppress our cough, and then you can't cough it out, right? So, and then that could develop into lung cancer, right? So your body's always doing the right thing at the right time, all the time, no matter what's going on. Any kind of symptom that you have, whether it's cancer, which is a symptom of an unhealthy body, diabetes, heart disease, you have to find out why your body is doing that. And then you fix the body, right? You look at why this is happening. You don't panic and like, oh my gosh, I have this diagnosis, I'm going to die. Like, you don't have to do that. You have to say, why is this happening? What's going on? What's causing this? Let's try to fix the underlying cause. Does that make sense? But always understand that your body's always doing the right thing. But why is it doing that, right? So you get diabetes because you put too much sugar in your blood, and you release all this insulin to get the sugar out of the blood, and now you're insulin resistant, and now you're diabetic, but what you have to just do is stop putting sugar in your blood. So you don't need to release insulin. That's it. That's why patients get off insulin in a week, because they just stop putting sugar in their blood, and then they don't need any more insulin. Because insulin just takes sugar out of the blood and stores it as fat in the cells. But the cells are only so big. They can only take in so much sugar, and then they're like, nope, we can't take any more. Now you're insulin resistant, right? There's always a simple explanation for everything. Cancer is also a simple explanation, which I'll talk about in a second. So what I just talked about ahead of my thing was the natural immune response. That's your natural immune system responding to what's happening around it. And that's a wonderful thing. You want to embrace your symptoms, right? My son once had 105.7. He was 3 years old. He had 105.7. And he asked me to adjust his neck. Because when you get adjusted, I'll talk about that later, it strengthens your immune system. He didn't know that. He just kept asking me to adjust him all day. Mommy, I need an adjustment. And he hated getting adjusted, but that day, he asked me 5 times. It's like instinctively knew. And so he had 105.7 for like maybe an hour or two. Of course, I didn't tell my mother. Wow, I never don't tell her that my son ever had 105.7. She would have freaked out. But his temperature went down, and then at night, he says, Mommy, I need one more adjustment, and I'll be better. Okay. And he woke up the next day, he was better. That was the body doing what it needed to do. He was in preschool. I was like his first time in preschool, so he was exposed to different things. All the other kids, like half the class, had a high fever also, but they were out for a week because they kept lowering it. Right? Still like understanding how that works is really interesting. My son is now 13, and 2 nights ago, he wakes me up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mommy! I'm like, what? He goes, can you adjust me? Okay. And then my neck hurts. I'm like, okay, I'll adjust you. That's a fine reason to wake me up. I don't mind that at all. And so your body is amazing, and you have to embrace all the things and find out why it's happening, and then you help your body to get rid of whatever it needs to get rid of. So with cancer, here, let me just quickly explain cancer. Here's cancer. Cancer is, you have cells in your body, and your cells, if you're healthy, they like using ketones for energy, which is fat. They love oxygen. They like a nice alkaline environment, right? That's a good, healthy cell. If you have an environment in your body where you have a lot of sugar, where you have a lot of acid from like sugar and bad oils, if you have a lot of inflammation, if you have a lot of toxins, if you don't exercise enough and don't have enough oxygen, the cells in your body can die, right? That's a terrible environment for them. Your cells will die in that environment. They can't thrive like that. So your cells mutate, they change in order to be able to survive in that environment you created. So a cancer cell is a mutated cell. It mutates to survive in the environment that you created. And when the cell mutates, it replicates itself. So you have this cell that mutated because you're stressed out, right, like that guy. You're painting houses in fumes and smoking and stress and everything, right, or whatever it is that's going on in your body, eating a lot of sugar. And so your cells are like dying, they're not getting the oxygen, and they mutate so they can survive, and then they replicate themselves. And that cell will then, if your immune system doesn't kill it, if your immune system's not strong enough, your immune system doesn't kill it, it becomes a tumor. And that's cancer. That's it. And so what do you do to kill cancer? You starve it. You don't give it sugar. I'll get into much more detail, but that's really it. You create an environment in your body where cancer can't survive. You start exercising and flooding your body with oxygen. You get rid of sugar. You eat ketosis. You eat a ketogenic diet, so there's no sugar, but there's a lot of fat. And a cancer cell cannot use fat for energy. So you feed your healthy cells and you starve your cancer cells. Like, that's basically what cancer is. The immune system couldn't kill that bad cell, it then grew into a tumor. You just want to starve it. You overdose with vitamin C, which kills cancer better than chemotherapy with no side effects. So there's a lot of, does that make sense? That's like basically what cancer is. And so we're going to talk about all the things that can help you, like strengthening your immune system, your gut. Your gut, all the bacteria in your gut, right? People know about probiotics now and your gut microbiota and all that. You have more bacteria in your gut than you have cells in your body. So you're like more bacteria than you are human, kinda, right? And so we have more bacteria in our gut. And there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. You want to feed the good bacteria and you want to get rid of the bad bacteria. And there's also fungus, like you've heard of candida. Candida is just yeast that grows in your colon, and yeast is just a mold. It's mold. Sugar feeds it. It loves sugar. And do you ever rise dough? You have some yeast and you give it sugar and it goes like that. That's what happens in your gut. When you eat sugar and carbs and grains, it feeds that yeast, and it gets bigger, and it proliferates so much that it goes to other parts of your body. You can go to your brain, you can go to your liver, it can go to your lungs, it can go to all these different places. So taking care of your gut is really, really important. And your gut is a very, very big part of your immune system. It's a very big part of your immune system. Even for sleep. In your gut, you will create serotonin, which is the hormone that makes you happy and helps you sleep. But if you don't have enough good bacteria, if it's too much bad and yeast, you're gonna be so out of balance. You might not be able to sleep. You're not gonna be able to digest your food. Your immune system is gonna be weakened, and your body's just not gonna be able to fight like basic things, right? And then you're not gonna go to the bathroom, and then you're more toxic, right? Anybody wants to see that on Facebook and chugging water? So we're going to talk, you take, I'll talk about it later, you take probiotics, you eat healthy food, but this is a really big part, your gut. If you have an unhealthy gut, you can heal your gut. Maybe you have leaky gut. Who's heard of leaky gut, right? Leaky gut is, okay, so here's your digestive system, your colon. Let's just talk about your colon. So your colon is here, and you have food going through it, and your body, and the waste leaves, it stays and leaves. Because your digestive system is technically outside of your body cavity, even though it's inside, right? Does that make sense? It goes through from your mouth all the way out. It goes through you, but it's not inside your body cavity. So it's holding the bad stuff in and letting the nutrients absorb into your system. If you have a lot of stress, if you eat a lot of sugar and carbs and canola oil, if you don't drink enough water, if you don't have good probiotics, you have this nice, this nice lining, and if you do all those bad things, you'll get holes in the lining. And then all the bad stuff from your colon that's supposed to leave goes into your body cavity, and then your body starts attacking itself, and that's an autoimmune disease. That's like one of the biggest causes of autoimmune disease. Your body attacks itself because you're being poisoned. So it's like, okay, so now there's this stuff in your body, and your body's like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So it's just your immune system starts attacking itself, trying to destroy because of this leaky gut. And there's ways to heal leaky gut. It's not complicated. We can heal that. But you want to seal that up, right? So that's another reason. That's another thing that happens with your gut. Oops. Did I just go through, how many did I just go through? Okay. Okay, so we're going to look at inflammation. Everyone's heard of inflammation, right? Yeah. So there's good inflammation and there's bad inflammation. So if I, hit my hand and I get a cut, or my cat attacks me, which happens in my house, and then I get a cut on my hand, you want that cut to heal. And so your body will go there, it'll cause inflammation, right? Because it's bringing nutrients, it's bringing white blood cells, it's bringing all this stuff to the area to heal that. And then once it's healed, things can get really red. Once it's healed, it just goes back to normal. And so that's good inflammation. If I hurt my back and it's inflamed, it's because your body's bringing nutrients to the area and fixing it, and then so you're good, right? So that's good inflammation, and that's what your body's supposed to do that. The problem is that we do so many things to our body that we cause chronic inflammation all over. And chronic inflammation is what leads to disease, cancer being one of them. A lot of people, there's a lot of research on chronic inflammation causing scar tissue, and those scar tissue from all that inflammation, your body's just trying to heal all the time, that it just mutates and becomes cancer cells. Because it just can't keep up with all of the inflammation. And so all the things that cause inflammation are sugar and grains and oatmeal and canola oil and vegetable oil and stress and bad thinking and not sleeping, right? There's so many, we're going to talk about all of them. But that's all causes inflammation. And so your body is just constantly trying to fix everything, and it's just all just swollen, and that leads to disease. So you don't want to do that, right? So that's just what inflammation is. That's all that inflammation is. All right. So we talked a little bit about mindset. So here's the mistakes that people make with cancer. The biggest mistake, really the biggest mistake that you make is that you think it's not going to be you. Like that's what everyone's like, well, it's not going to be me, I'm not going to get cancer. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic, but we're so optimistic that we don't think that we have to change anything, right? You're like, well, it's not going to be me. Like, well, sugar causes cancer. Well, I'm not going to give up sugar because I like it. Well, then you might get cancer. I don't know. Maybe you're going to get cancer. Maybe you're causing all inflammation in your body and you're going to have some kind of problem. But if you don't try to prevent cancer, you might get cancer. So you should live a nice, healthy life, because once you get it, you can reverse it. It's hard and it takes a long time, but it's better to not get it. It's better to understand how your body functions and take care of your body. That doesn't mean never eating any sugar ever. It means eating less. It means taking better care of your body. It means understanding how to take care of your body so you can be healthy for a long time. But if you're just like, most people don't even know the stats. How many people, like what is the percentage of people you think get cancer? You would have a stat, like what percentage of Americans do you think get cancer? Write a number.
50%.
Oh, there you go. What anyone else? What do you say?
50%.
A third, 30%. 100%. Everyone is, you know what? It's true. Everyone is always developing cancer. But it's true. It's close to 50%. It's like 40-50%. Where a lot of people think, oh, it's like 5% of people get cancer and it's just genetic. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. And I'm just going to do whatever I want because there's nothing I can do about it anyway. It's that mindset, but it's not true. It's closer to 50% of people. In fact, 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of 2 men will get diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. So half of the men and 1/3 of the women in this room, well, not in this room, but in general, that's a lot more people than you think. It's a lot more people getting sick than you think it is. So don't think that it's not going to be me, and then you get diagnosed with it, and then you're just in emergency mode, like trying to fix it. You take care of yourself now so that you don't get it. And guess what happens when you take care of yourself now? You just feel great. And then what happens is that you don't want sugar anymore, right? You guys don't eat sugar. A lot of people here don't eat sugar. You don't want it anymore. It doesn't bring you any more joy. It doesn't bring you joy. It just makes you sick, right? And then you're healthy, and then you feel good, and you want to do more and more and more to feel good.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, you said to eliminate sugar the best you can.
Yeah.
The majority of the products you eat
Right.
have sugar.
I know. And that's why so many people have cancer. You have to like either buy food without it or just make all your own food.
Yeah, but if you juice, the natural orange, banana.
That's like a technique. He's asking about juicing. That's still sugar. So fruit sugar is still sugar.
Right.
So if you're sick, you gotta be really careful with fruit sugar. Fruit sugar technically doesn't feed cancer cells, but it does cause inflammation. So it's just as bad. So if you're gonna juice, you juice spinach and celery and cucumber and kale and lettuce and lemon and a little bit of apple. But if you're drinking orange juice all day, you're gonna get diabetes.
No, I'm not diabetic.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying if you're drinking that, you're gonna get diabetes. More children get adult onset diabetes like as teenagers from juice than from soda. So
when I say juice,
we're talking about like apple juice and orange. Yeah, I know what you're
I'm
talking
talking
about.
about natural fruit.
Doesn't matter. It's still sugar. It's still concentrated sugar.
She tell me I gotta change my juice.
Yes, I am telling all of you. You probably have to change a lot of stuff. That's not wrong with that.
Orange juice,
Loaded.
Gotta read the labels.
Right.
yeah.
So we just talked about this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that there are fruits that are less sugary, like blueberries,
Oh, yeah.
green apples. There
Yeah.
are choices in fruits that you can make to limit the sugar.
Yeah, lower
the
glycemic
fruit sugars
fruits.
that
Yep.
you have.
Thank you. Berries, green apples, grapefruit is a little better. That's fine. So we just talked about cancer. So again, cancer is just your body's doing the right thing at the right time. That's all it is. Your cells mutate to survive. It just, the process of cancer doesn't turn off, right? And so that's the problem with it. It's like, once those cells mutate, they just don't die. Like normal cells die at a certain time. They just die, apoptosis. Cancer cells, when they mutate, they don't die, so then they just grow tumors. That's it. It's just your body doing the right thing at the right time. Everybody understand what cancer is? Makes sense? Maybe not yet? Oh. Okay, so here, we have to understand, so I think it's important to understand, it's important to understand the lingo when you're to understand cancer. To understand anything, you have to understand the lingo, so you know what you're dealing with. So with cancer, there are different stages of cancer. So there's stage 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? 0 and 1 is you have some abnormal cells, maybe they're contained, it's very, very small. Stage 2 and 3 is those cells have now gotten so big that either they've left that organ or they've moved into another organ. So they've kind of moved out. So maybe you have breast cancer in this little spot, and then now all of a sudden you have it, and it's kind of moved out of the breast and it's started to push out, maybe it's gone to a lymph node. Stage 4 is when that cancer has gone through the blood or the lymph to other parts of your body. That's stage 4, okay? Most people, when they're diagnosed with cancer, do you know what stage they're in?
4.
3, right, 3 or 4. Because there's no real symptom of cancer. It's not like it hurts. You have a tumor, it's so small, it doesn't hurt. It's not, most likely not going to show up on a blood test. Sometimes it does. Maybe you'll have, oh, you have some elevated white blood cells. Let's just wait and see what happens. Oh, there's something going on in your stomach. This is what the doctor, let's just wait and see what happens. Has anyone heard that?
No.
Why don't we just wait and wait till the cancer starts and then we'll do something about it?
No,
Right? But that's
that's a mistake.
that's the mistake. You don't want to wait and see what happens,
want
but
to
that's
take care
all
of
that
it.
they know. The medical system only knows how to treat it, and that's just that's just what they do. That's not bad. It's just that's what they do. And so you have some elevated white blood cells. That's when you go into action before that. But when you have that, that could be stage 1 cancer, right? So I had a patient. This happened to numerous patients. But I had a patient once have this protein in her blood. And so you guys, one of my friends is a real expert in cancer. And I called him, I said, my patient has this protein in her blood. What is it? He goes, that is gonna turn into blood cancer. That's what that is. And the doctors are like, okay, we're just gonna monitor your blood, come back in 6 months, and let's just see what it looks like. And it's like, and I told her, I said, if you wait 6 months, you can have blood cancer, and you have blood cancer, I don't know, you might not make that. That is something that is not easy to treat, no matter what natural thing you do. You can die from blood cancer. And so, but they don't know. So they're like, well, just wait, let's just wait. It's like, what, wait till you get cancer, right? So you're not gonna even know, you're gonna be like, oh, you have some elevated white blood cells. Doctors are gonna say, oh, well, this might be cancer, and let's just do something now to prevent it. You have to know that, right? And so this was 3 years ago, and immediately went into like cancer killing mode with this patient, and the proteins never changed to something else. They just got lower and lower and lower over time, where it's barely detectable in her blood anymore, right? That's because you don't wait, right? And so you want to know the stages so you understand what it means. So if someone has stage 3, it means it's kind of moved, but it's not in the blood or lymphatic system yet. But even if it is, you can still get healthy. You can still get healthy. So I have a friend of mine has a patient, he's in Idaho, and he had this patient. She came in, she was given 3 months to live. She came in with her mom and her husband. She was like in her 40s, she wasn't old. She came in with her husband and her mom to his office, and he told her the whole thing, like, you have to do this, you have to get adjusted, you have to eat this, you have to do this, you have to do all this stuff. And the doctors were like, you're gonna die in 3 months, the cancer's everywhere, like, just go home and die, right? So the husband and the mom were like, why are you doing this? You're just gonna die. And so part of the story he didn't know about till 3 months later, but also, this is what from his viewpoint, they said that, but she still kept coming in once a week, She didn't really talk about much. She just came in once we got adjusted, even though she was supposed to come in more. She wasn't really, she's like, no, I'm not really changing my diet. And then what happened with her, and then, so with her, that night, because her husband and her mom were so negative, she took her camper and she drove out into the woods. Yeah, I told you the story. And she's like, I'm just gonna die alone in the woods. Because I don't wanna be near that. That's too negative. I don't wanna do that. I just wanna be in the woods, quiet. I don't want any screens. I don't want any stress. Like her life was stressful, so she just camped. She ate garbage. She only came and got adjusted once a week. He's like, I wish I could say the adjustments helped her, but it was stress. So that was it. And so after 3 months of this, she's like, what the hell? How come I'm not dead? How come I'm not dead? They said I was gonna die. How come I'm not dead? So she went back to the doctor, and they did a scan, and they're like, we don't see any more cancer. They literally said we can't find any more cancer. Like, we have to do the scan again because it doesn't make sense, because why would you have no cancer? And that was it. She had no cancer. And it was stress. There was so much stress
In that house.
in her house, in her lifestyle, that when she got rid of it, like the guy from Greece, when he got rid of it, her body healed. And so sometimes stress can be the biggest cause of your cancer. You have to address that, because that causes physical changes in your body. Isn't that an amazing story? I love that story. So here, cancer treatment and outcomes. I mean, what are the treatments, right? Chemotherapy, like we call it cut, poison, and burn.
Yep.
Surgery, chemotherapy is poison, and radiation is burning. Sorry. So if you cut the cancer out, now you can do all of these treatments. If you want to do all of these treatments, you can do them. But you still have to change your lifestyle. Because even if if you do them and cancer is gone, it's going to come back. Most likely, right? You've all heard of people, they're given a clean bill of health and then the cancer comes back. Like, why did it come back? Oh no, just bad luck. No, right? But if you do these treatments, you have to be very aggressive with your detoxing, because you're poisoning yourself with chemo. That's what it is. It's not like no one's telling you that. Chemo is poison. You hope that it poisons the cancer cells before it poisons you, right? That's basically what chemo is. Radiation is trying to burn it, and cancer and surgery is just going to cut it out. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with radiation. If you cut a tumor out, you're probably not going to get every single cell, right? And then they radiate it. So if you have one cell left, if they do a surgery and there's one cancer cell left, and then you do radiation, the radiation causes inflammation, produces more capillaries, brings more blood to the area, brings all the sugar you're eating, and you know what that radiation does to that one cell? It turns it into a tumor. It's like fuels that one cell, and that one cell starts to proliferate. It feeds it. Whereas not doing that is better, right? So I watched something a long time ago. This doctor, one of the first doctors to talk about the ketogenic diet, and this is how they discovered the ketogenic diet, how good it is for cancer. He says they study the cells, so because cancer is all cells, so they study the cells. He was a cell biologist, and there were everything comes back to your cells. You can't look at the whole. You have to look at the cells when it comes to cancer. And so they looked at all these different treatments and different radiation treatments, and it was interesting. So there's this one radiation treatment that people were starting to survive from this one type of cancer that normally no one survived. So like a few people survived from this certain type of brain cancer. So okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. From a biological cellular level, there's no way that this treatment could not cause more cancer. And so he looked at it, and he looked at the treatment, he talked to the patients, and he looked at the side effects, and here's what happened. This radiation made people so nauseous that they literally just stopped eating completely. And because they stopped eating completely, they weren't eating any sugar. Their body went into ketosis, where it started burning fat, and they starved their cancer. And that was one of the first things that they saw to say, you know what? Why don't we mimic this instead of just stop eating, because some people that may not work for people.
Yeah.
But if we give you food that will keep you in that ketogenic starving state, kind of that you're just burning fat instead of sugar, this way you're feeding your good cells and you're nourishing your body while you're starving the cancer cells. And that was one of the first people who talked about like eating a ketogenic diet. Even though eating like ketogenic, which I'll talk a little bit, it just means you're burning fat. That's really how we're designed to eat anyway. We should be eating food that burning fat. Fat is a great fuel. Sugar is a terrible fuel. But so that's interesting, isn't it? And so you have to be really careful with radiation. The radiation can fuel that cancer. That one cell that's left can be fueled with radiation, right? And so that's the treatment, and that's the outcomes. And so a lot of times this cancer just comes back, and then many times chemo can cause more cancer because it does poison you, and it causes inflammation, and you're making your cells more toxic, and then they can mutate more. But if you feel like you want to do the treatment, I mean, some people just like, I want to do the chemo. It's like, okay, well, for them, if they don't do the chemo, it will cause anxiety, and that's worse. I'm like, okay, then do whatever you want, do the chemo, but let's just let's detox you while you're doing it. Let's put you on a healthy diet. You know what I mean? So you take care of the body. You can do both at the same time if you want. But if that's going to cause, because there's so much fear, that causes all this anxiety, that could be worse. So you have to do what you have to do. Like, I don't tell people not to do that. That's an option. Chemo, radiation, and surgery is an option, but you have to know that there are other options, that you could do things at the same time, and that you can opt out of these things. So you can opt out of these things. And so the real definition of cancer survivor, like there's all these stats, like, oh, this cancer has a blah, blah, 50% survival rate. Cancer survivor, the definition of that is from the day you're diagnosed with cancer, 5 years. If you're still alive, you're a survivor. If you die 5 years and 1 day later, you're a survivor. If you die a year later, you're a survivor. If you make it 5 years, you could be dying in a hospital, but you're still alive, you're a cancer survivor. So you have to be careful with these stats, right? It doesn't mean that people survive. It means that they survive 5 years, right? And that's all it means. It's not that it's like we think survivor is like you can live a long, healthy life. And that doesn't mean that just means from the treatments I'm talking about. So like, oh, people who do this chemotherapy, we have a blah, blah percentage survival rate. That doesn't mean that they have a long, healthy life. In fact, many times you have to really be careful with the treatments they're giving you and look at the side effects, because you could have lifelong pain and you could have all these other problems from this treatment that you weren't told about. So if you ever do decide to take medication or do chemo or do whatever that stuff is, you have to really, really look at the side effects and what are the lifelong side effects of those drugs, right? All right. Oh. All right. So we're just going to talk about understanding your risk. So here are the top 3 types of cancers that we get. You have hormone-related cancer, you have inflammation-related cancer, and you have toxicity-related cancer. Here are the hormone cancers: prostate, breast, and uterine. What affects your hormones? If you don't exercise, your hormones are going to be a mess. If you want a healthy balance of hormones, you have to exercise. That's it. There's no other way. You have to exercise. You have to get rid of pesticides. Chemicals cause hormone issues. Your liver, if it's clean, will clean out the excess hormones in your body. If your liver's a mess from alcohol and smoking and medication and stress, it can't clean out the excess hormones, and I have all these hormone problems. Pesticides on fruit. Like, there's pesticides, like that's why you eat organic, right? Because organic, so like strawberries, for example. Strawberries and blueberries, you have to eat them organic or don't eat them at all. Because the pesticides used on those fruits have massive hormone disrupting chemicals on them. unbelievable. Like that will cause hormone cancer. So people think, oh, organic, that's just a bunch of nonsense. The pesticides are hormone disrupting. Plastic is hormone disrupting, right? So there's a lot of things that can disrupt your hormones, which is why we have a lot of hormone issues. But starting to balance, oh, thank you. So starting to balance your hormones. This is not genetic, right? This is just hormone. This is like lifestyle. You know, you're eating a bunch of junk. Sugar can mess up your liver, cause hormone issues. Stress can cause hormone issues. Do you see? It's all the same thing. Like we could be talking about any disease, any problem, any cancer. It's really all the same underlying cure or fix or prevention. You take care of your body, you don't have a problem, right? But there's certain things that are specific, like maybe your liver's a mess and maybe you have to do a liver detox, right? That's not the first thing I do with people, but if we're going and they're not getting better, it's like, hey, do a liver detox. Let's do this, let's do that, right? But you have to do the basics first. I'll talk about the basics. So, inflammation-related cancers, skin cancer, colorectal cancer, bladder cancer, and pancreatic cancer. These specifically are from chronic inflammation due to all those lifestyle factors. That's what they're from. And there's like various, thank you so much. There's like various symptoms of all of these cancers, like early onset symptoms, you know. No reason to go over all of that. And the toxicity related cancers. So toxins from your toothpaste, from your shampoo, from the lotion you put on your skin, things you can control. Like there's toxins everywhere, but you can control what you put in your body and what you put on your body, right? It's not like you have to walk around with a face mask and like spraying yourself with all this stuff. It's like, don't eat foods with pesticides. Don't eat foods with chemicals in it, right? Make your own lotion or just buy coconut oil. Use essential oils to clean your house. Stuff like that, like simple things so like you reduce your exposure so you don't put things in or on your body that are chemicals. And then you reduce, and then your body can handle like the stuff that there's around, right? If you're outside and there's toxins and chemicals, whatever, your body can handle it. But if you're inundating your body constantly with like perfume and shampoo every day and soap and lotion and you're just covering yourself with chemicals every day, even from your makeup, you know, lipstick, you know how much lipstick a woman eats every year? So, I forgot, pounds of lipstick. So use natural lipstick so you can eat it and it doesn't matter. So like these things are like daily, like we're bombarding ourselves with all these chemicals. If you just stop doing that, your body can handle the stuff and you can handle sometimes eating some raspberries with some pesticides on it once in a while. You're not gonna die.
What are the things in them that is the toxin? Like is the color, the
Everything.
filler, everything?
All like color, and there's just all these crazy chemicals that are in perfume and makeup. It's just, there's like lists and lists of them. I don't really know off the top of my head, but there's lists. I have there's lists of, like if you're reading something like, what's that? Then just put it away.
How can you find a brand of makeup and lipstick that is not toxic?
It's here.
We have it here, but you can just go to Whole Foods and look around. You can go to the Environmental Working Group and find the least toxic products. Environmental Working Group has a website. I think there's like even better way to get to it. But Environmental Working Group will give you the list of chemical of like that. There's an app that will tell you the top 15 fruits and vegetables that you have to buy organic, and then the top 15 that you never should buy organic because there's no pesticides. But Environmental Working Group has a website for products, and then you can just look it up. I have yet to find a shampoo that's not toxic. I found ones that are less toxic. I just clean my hair with vinegar and like baking soda.
And that's good?
Yeah, I just vinegar, especially for curly hair. So, but I mean, there's like once in a while, there's like really low toxicity shampoos. I don't know if we have one, but it's really hard to find that stuff. As far as putting lotion on, I just use like shea butter mixed with coconut oil, or we have some. That's easier to find, like lotions that are safe.
Shea butter mixed with coconut oil?
Yeah, melt it, add the coconut oil, let it cool, get it a mixer, whip it up, and then you have body butter. Yeah. And you can put essential oils in it if you
Yes,
want.
smells
Yeah, I was
good.
gonna say.
Yeah, and it smells good and it's really nourishing. Yeah.
There's an app called Think Dirty,
Oh, thank you. I knew there was something.
and it scans, your camera will scan, you can go to the store and fix it.
Oh, that's so
it'll
cool.
Scan it.
What is
and
it?
It'll give you a rating of 1 to 10.
Thank you.
how toxic it
I
is.
will
Think
think dirty.
It's called Think Dirty.
Yay. I knew there was something I don't know about.
Think dirty.
And it's-
Think dirty.
Eat dirty.
Yeah.
Eat dirty.
Think.
No one is gonna forget that.
Dirty.
Oh, it's dirty.
Think dirty.
And so all of these,
Yeah.
all of these things, like so your lungs and your kidneys are just ways that your body eliminates cancer. I mean, eliminates toxins. You breathe toxins out, your skin cancer, well, it's not on here, but your body throws toxins out your skin, out your colon, right? So your body, your lymphatic system carries cancer, carries toxins out. So these are the areas that you're just overloading when you put toxins on. But just do that and then scan stuff.
I know back when like cell phones first came out, they were talking about them being
Yes.
Yeah.
what's
They
the deal
emit
with that?
radiation or something.
There are things, there's like some kind of mineral stuff that can like changes EMF. Do you guys know about that or no? One of my friends wears this really pretty necklace. I forgot what it's called. You'll have to like ask me on the Facebook page and I'll tag her with her. But it changes the EMF to something that we can handle. What I do is that our router for our internet is in the basement where nobody is. It's not in the bedroom. I don't have anything in my bedroom. I don't have phones or anything in my bedroom. And if I'm on the phone, I never put it up to my head. I'm always like, I have it on speaker. My mom's like, am I on speaker? No, you're not on speaker. No, Mom, you're not on speaker. But I only talk on speakerphone.
I use the
That's
speaker
it.
a lot.
My husband has these little ear things that supposedly doesn't carry EMFs. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. Some of them, those Bluetooth things, some of them do emit something. I don't use any of that stuff. I just talk on speaker, keep my phone away, keep it out of the bedroom, keep the router in the basement. Yeah, you can get one of those mineral things, whatever.
Says that these are not good.
I don't know. I've read things that say they're fine, and I've read things that say they're not. I don't know. I won't even have an iPhone watch, like monitoring me. I don't know. That stuff all freaks me out. I just don't want any of that stuff on me. So I just don't have any of that stuff. I just talk like that. She talks loud anyway, right? My mom, does your mom talk loud? I have to put it all the way down to 1 and I can hear from across the room. I love you, Mommy. So I don't really need
This is a way.
Okay, so here are the risk factors. Here they are. Lifestyle, diet, and environment, right? All these things that we've been talking about. Lifestyle, diet, and environment. So, just did the eyes on. Okay, here, stress. This is like one of the biggest causes of a lot of our issues. And we don't realize it. You think that just because I'm thinking something, how does that affect my body? It does. What you think can affect your cells. What you visualize can affect your cells. You know, when people are given the diagnosis of cancer, there's a large percentage of people that will die on the day that they were told they were going to die.
Yeah.
You have 8 months to live, and they'll die at 8 months. There's a
Yeah, they
large
think
percentage of
that.
people because they're like, I have 8 months to live. I have 8 months to live. I have 7 months and 29 days to live. And this is what they're thinking. The body's like, okay, right?
They accept it.
What you accept it, and then you think that's going to happen, and what you think affects your body and how you react to things. So it's not that. So it's stress. It's not that you have to get rid of all your stress. You can't, right? You can't. Can you get rid of all your stress? No. Things are going to happen. It's how you respond to what happens.
Yep.
And that you can control. You can control how you respond to what happens. And that's really, like, that's the biggest thing about stress. You can freak out or you cannot freak out, and that's it. I mean, it's more than that. So stress is really, okay, so stress is really fear, right? what do you, like, think about in your life, like, what stresses you out? Like, think about it. Like, what are you afraid of? Why is that stressing you out? That's stressing you out because you're afraid of something, right? Like, I can't even think of something right now personally that, I don't have a lot of stress. I don't react to stress in general, just because I've been doing this and coaching this for so long that was like I just kind of live it. I can't think of, but I'll think of something. But how you respond to what's happening. Okay, so when I'm giving a workshop, I want to make sure that I can be a little like, I don't get stressed about it, but like, I could be a little stressed about it. Like, oh my gosh, I want to make sure I say everything and I don't miss one thing. And I this and that. So what do I do for that? Like, I'm afraid that I might mess up. So anytime there's fear, what fixes fear is action. So when I'm preparing for a workshop, I will just spend hours reviewing it and working on it and researching stuff and reading stuff. And then all the stress goes away. So most of the time, anything you're afraid of, anything you're stressed about, there's an action. Like, what is the action? Sometimes it's a quick action. Sometimes it's something fast, like a 2-minute action, and sometimes it's a project, right? So I was stressed about something when, like a few weeks ago, I was like feeling stressed. And I realized it was because I had all this laundry. I'm like, all this laundry, like my kids had no clothes. They look like they're homeless anyway half the time. They just wear like ripped up sweatpants. My mom's like, your kids look like they're homeless. I'm like, they're boys, or they ruin everything. So I was like, so if I feel anything, like a little stress or a little anxiety, I stop and I'm like, why do I feel this? Like, you have to stop. I'm like, why do I feel this way? What's causing this? What's causing this? And then you think about it, and you're like, oh, maybe it's the laundry. And I did the laundry, I'm like, I feel better, right? So I had a patient come in a few weeks ago, and she was like, I'm so depressed, and I'm so stressed. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, what did you just do? She goes, just start. Like, what did you just do? What? I don't know. We're talking. She's like, well, I was at Target, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff. I don't need more stuff. Go return it. Like, go return all your stuff. And then throw more stuff away. So you know what she did? She literally went home and like packed up all the stuff. She has all the stuff in bags. Like, she like shops. And she thinks it makes her feel better, but it makes her feel worse. So she returned a whole bunch of stuff, and a few days later she was like, I feel a completely different person. Yeah, and I'm like, no more shopping. If you feel like you want to go for a run, right? Like, that is clearly causing stress. And years ago I had this patient, she had 4 kids, and she was just so stressed. And like, it took a while. It's like I feel like I'm a therapist sometimes. So she's talking, and she's like, there's this closet. This is her in my house. And we just shoved everything in this closet. And this closet is ruining my life. Like, it's causing me so much stress. Like, she was having, you can have stress from like stuff. Stuff and clutter can absolutely cause stress and anxiety and depression. And I'm like, well, clean it out. Like, she's like, well, I don't have any time to clean it out. I was like, all right. So I was like, every day for 15 minutes, clean it and then stop. It took her 3 months, but she cleaned out her closet and she felt better. So that's a project. That's not a 2-minute solve, right? So like, you have to think about, like, when you have that feeling, well, oh, I know when I got that feeling. When I was like driving to yoga, I love yoga. I do a lot of yoga shop. I do a lot of yoga. I was driving to yoga and there was traffic. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss yoga. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, first of all, like, that is not how I should feel, like, driving to yoga. Like, I'm gonna miss yoga. So I had a plan B. I'm trying to drive to this studio. I'm like, all right, if there's too much traffic, I'm just gonna turn and go to that studio. So I had a plan B, and then I felt better. So all that went away. Someone just had something to say. Go ahead.
You were saying that, I was just thinking of things that stress me out. Karen and I were talking on the way over here. I'm a grandmother. So my grandkids got out early one day. Mm-hmm. Their mother and older sister forgot, and so they walked home by themselves.
Okay.
And I was thinking about that and how it freaks me out and things to do. But you're right, you come up with a plan, you do it, it handles the stress, and then you're less stressed.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what do you do? Give them coping skills.
Exactly. That's exactly what you do. You think about it, and then you teach them This is what you do, and this is how you do it. So always stop and think, why do I feel this way? Your body's just trying to tell you something. That's all it is. Because stress will destroy your body. It will release adrenaline and cortisol, and it will cause inflammation in your heart, and it will shut down your digestive system. Then you can't sleep, and then you can't function, and it's like a vicious cycle, right? And just stress, right? And then your adrenals and everything's shot, and then you're just a mess. So don't react. What are you going to do about half the stuff? Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. If it's like outside of you, like traffic, well, what are you going to do? Just put on some good music and be late for work, right?
I know that I've been looking into meditation
Okay.
for stress
Yes.
management. Like when I feel overwhelmed, just get quiet, do the breathing sometimes. do
Absolutely.
different, just looking into different, and there's so many ways to meditate. There's so many different ways to do it that
Definitely.
you can find one that fits you.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, stress management skills is managing your time so that you're not late to work if that stresses you out. It's just managing your life. Like, I don't have time to exercise or eat healthy. You schedule it in. I have a time management workshop that should be on my Facebook somewhere. Joy will put it on YouTube. And it talks about managing your time so that you don't have that stress. And one of my big stress management things is I do yoga 4 times a week. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. It's high intensity. That's my meditation. Like, I can't sit. Like, I can't go to a relaxing yoga class and lay on the floor. I'll be like stressed out. I have to move to meditate. I used to run marathons to meditate. Now I do fast yoga and it's hot and it's music, and that helps me meditate. Some people like to sit and meditate. That's good. I'm not saying what I do is good. That's just who I am. I know what works for me. You have to figure out what works for you. Find some kind of meditation, something that you enjoy. Maybe it's knitting, maybe it's drawing, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's my husband, it's chopping wood. He likes to chop wood, right? What is meditative to you, right? It doesn't have to be sitting and it doesn't have to be that. That's what we think of, but there's many different ways to meditate. So find out what works for you to calm you and get you out of all that craziness. But exercise is definitely part of stress management. Moving your body will help manage your stress and will help burn off all the bad hormones.
Racing a car, does that work?
Yes, racing cars.
That works.
He started racing cars when you could tell him your age. How old when you started racing cars?
Probably about 10 years ago.
10 years
something
ago?
like
You started racing cars 10 years ago. That's meditative, right? Spinning as fast as you can, like almost dying around the track. Makes you feel good. And then what works for you? I know, I'm just kidding.
that. You don't almost die.
No, I know, I'm just kidding. That's how I would feel. No, but
It's safer than driving on these streets.
no, I know.
I'll
No,
be right.
that's right. That's meditative. That's like do something that you love. That's fun. Have fun. People need more fun. That's another thing people need. Want to manage your stress? Go have more fun.
Thank you.
Have more fun.
Is that my wife?
He has to have more fun. So that's, you know what, that's why I like the yoga that I do. It's not serious yoga. I mean, it's hard. But like, we laugh, me and my friend laugh,
Laughter
swear.
is medicine.
Exactly. Sometimes we're like, what did he just say to do? What? So, we laugh and it's fun. It's like a fun atmosphere where I go to the yoga shop. It's a very fun atmosphere and I like that. Because it makes me like laughing and it's fun. I'm not like, some yoga masters, and if you like that, that's fine. It's very serious. I do not do well with that. It's boring. I went to a class like that. I was so bored. I was like, this is over. It stressed me out, right? So again, know yourself, know what you like to do. Do something, find a hobby that you love, that you've always wanted to do.
I have a question for you.
Huh?
I have a question.
Yeah.
As a guy,
Yeah.
in my 60s,
Yeah.
I would tell you, what signs do you look for in a prostate?
For prostate, you look for, okay, so it doesn't mean that it's cancer, but if you wake up frequently throughout the night, you could have an inflamed prostate.
Okay.
That's like the biggest sign, actually. Pain when you urinate can be prostate. There's like a list of symptoms. It's always good to just take care of your prostate. There's some good supplements you can take for your prostate. but just in general, reducing inflammation, changing your diet, exercising, reducing your stress, sleeping, all of those same things will reduce inflammation anywhere in your body. You do all that? We'll have to talk. You might need something else. We'll talk after. All right, here. Okay, so sleep. We don't sleep enough. People don't sleep enough. How much sleep do you think you need?
8 to 9 hours.
Right, 7 to 9 hours. 8 to 9 hours. 7 to 9 hours. Kids need like 10 hours of sleep. 10. Kids, yep. So 7 to 9 hours.
Kids.
If you're not if you're not sleeping enough, your body can't function. Your brain can't recover from the day before. You're gonna have brain fog.
Yep.
It's gonna cause stress in your body. Like lack of sleep can cause you to gain weight. Lack of sleep can cause chronic inflammation. And we're like kind of living this culture that's like, I only need 4 hours of sleep. I'm such a rock star. I'm so busy. And like, that's not good. Sleep. Take naps sometimes. I can take naps. But sleep is very important. When people work nights, I don't ever hear work overnight. That's really hard on your body. I would stop doing that. Yes. She did it for 25 years and she stopped. She's like,
Now it's like it's just.
yeah, and then your body has to recover, but it's very important to sleep at night, like really 10 to 6, 8 hours, ideal. But 11 to 7, whatever. My 13-year-old sleeps 2 a.m. to noon. That's when I homeschool him, so that's when he sleeps. Because your body, when you're a teenager, goes through a cycle where you can't go to sleep early, you have to go to sleep later. Your body just can't sleep. So all high school should start at noon. That's really what that's what, if I was president, all high schools would start at noon. Because kids can't fall asleep. Then they have to wake up at 6 a.m. and all these teenagers are a mess. And they're moody, and that's why they're moody. Right? Did someone have a question? No. Okay. So it's really important to sleep. If you're not sleeping, you may need to take some supplements. There's like a whole bunch of stuff we have. I could show you individually. Like there's like GABA, and there's theanine, and there's adrenal calm. There's all this stuff to like help your body get into a better rhythm of sleeping. But exercise will help you sleep. Eating healthy fats will help you sleep. Reducing your sugar will help you sleep. It's all the same thing. Reducing your stress will help you sleep. Right? It's all the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
So now what if you're in pain? Because for myself,
Right.
I can't lay
That's
there.
what's causing.
I can't lay
Okay,
there that
but
long.
you're doing something about it. You're getting adjusted. You're doing yoga. You can take some turmeric, and sometimes it just takes time. But maybe a supplement would help you calm down more. Maybe there's something that you can take to help you sleep better, even if you're in pain. But you're doing stuff about it. You're taking action. It's a process.
Watching less TV will make you sleep.
Yeah, watching less TV, getting away from like those little screens or big screens in front of your face. That all that light messes with your sleep cycle. Lack of sunlight.
What
Lack of
happens in New
sunlight.
England?
Everyone is so afraid of the sun. Like scared of the people wear like they buy makeup and put it like SPF 45 in the winter because they're afraid of the sun. Right? We don't get enough sun. And so you have to be careful with sun. So it's not like, oh, I'm inside an office all day with sun, and then I just on vacation, I'm gonna go to the Bahamas and lay in the sun 10 hours a day. No, that's not a balance, right? Like ideally, you need like 20 minutes a day on 70% of your body. It's very ideally you need. You don't get that in New England. But in the summer, you should be outside for like an hour a day, and maybe some coconut oil as a nice gentle sunscreen. Or if you're going to be going to the beach, you get a natural sunscreen, because those regular sunscreens cause skin cancer. They've been proven because of the chemicals in them. So the sun, listen, if the sun was so dangerous that it would kill us, we would have never survived, right? Yeah, right. How did they survive 40 years in the desert? There'd be no Jews left. We'd all died in the desert. We'd all gotten cancer and died in the desert. But no, it's not the sun that gets us sick. The sun gives you vitamin D. But when you live here, you have to supplement with vitamin D because it's not really in our food.
Protect your eyes though.
Yeah, you can protect your eyes. That's great. But vitamin D, we have vitamin D drops, a little bottle, will last you like 2 years. You need 5,000 units of vitamin D, usually a day, to maintain healthy levels. If your levels are low, you have to just come to me with your levels and I'll tell you what to take. But 5,000 units a day will keep you at a good level.
That's what I take.
What is daily recommendation, I think, is 400, and that's just not enough. Okay? So taking vitamin D is really, really important. Vitamin D is interesting. As vitamin D goes up, like your levels, like again, if you get it checked at the doctor, if you're like at 30, they'll say you're fine, but you're not. It has to be between 80 and 100. And there's charts, I couldn't find a good chart, but there's charts that show you vitamin D levels and risks of all these different cancers and diseases. Everything goes down 80% when you have high levels of vitamin D, including like heart disease and diabetes and all this stuff with high levels of vitamin D. High levels of vitamin D are extremely important for your health. And it's really, really simple to either get out in the sun in the summer, get some outside sports, or just take a couple of drops a day. It's not hard, it's really important. And it's not really a vitamin, it's like a precursor to hormones. It does all this stuff in your body. I don't know what it does. Some doctors don't even know like exactly what it does, but you need vitamin D. And I can give you that, and vitamin K supposedly helps with vitamin D, helps your body absorb it, and you should take calcium with magnesium and all of those things. I don't want to get complicated. I can show you that individually, but vitamin D is really important. If you can get sun, especially when there's sun, get sun. Okay? Oh, and sunscreen. So if you're going to be out in the sun a lot, I would just cover yourself up so you don't burn. Burning is bad, but sun is not bad. But if you burn, you can get skin cancer. And sunscreens can cause skin cancer because of the chemicals in them. So just get a natural sunscreen. You know, there's a lot of people, a lot of children using all this horrible sunscreen. With children, their bodies can't get rid of those chemicals. It just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up in their bodies, and they just can't get rid of it. And so a lot of these chemicals, you just know where to get rid of them. Especially as a child, you can't get rid of these chemicals. So, and for children, definitely, for everyone, natural sunscreen only. That's it. Don't put any of that copper tone, whatever that other stuff is, don't put any of that on your body, ever. Wear a hat or a shirt if you don't want to put it, if you can't have a natural sunscreen. Just so you don't get hours and hours and hours of sun and burn. Right? But there's so many chemicals. Again, you can look up the chemicals. And if you do the think dirty thing, right? Think dirty, you can just swipe your little sunscreen and see how bad it is. Or how good it is. Lack of physical exercise is huge. If you're an adult and you're not exercising, you're not behaving like a responsible adult. That's it, right? That's it. I tell you that because I care about you, and someone has to tell you that. But if you're not exercising, you're not behaving like responsible adults. You're not taking care of your body. Exercise is not an option. It's essential. And if you don't exercise, you are going to have a lack of oxygen in your body. You're actually going to be oxygen deficient. Exercise and movement keeps your body functioning normally. It's not like I'm going to enhance my body and get really fit and that's all going to happen. That's great. But that's not why you have to move in order to function properly. And that's it. You have to exercise. You have to find time to exercise. Do it even if you don't like it. You'll find something that you like. And you have to behave like a responsible adult and exercise. I'll go back to that for a second. So with exercise, it's not that you have to go to a gym, you have to do these workouts, and you don't have to go run a marathon, right? You have to do something, you have to move your body. And you have to be sweating, and you have to be out of breath. So I don't know, what is that for you? You want to do jumping jacks? You want to, I do yoga class, you want to dance? You want to run up and down the stairs? I don't know. Do something that you're sweating and you're out of breath. First 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be hours, it's not hours. You don't have to exercise for hours. That's not good for you. It's too much, it creates cortisol and stress. If you like I used to like running and it calmed me, it wasn't good for me. Like running marathons wasn't the best thing I ever did. I had to stop doing it. Nothing hurt, it's just too much. But when I was younger, it really helped me a lot. And so find what you like to do. Find something that you like. Maybe you don't want to go to a class, maybe you want to go on YouTube and take a class on YouTube. I feel like it's better to go outside to a class so that someone is telling you what to do and you don't have to like think about it, and then it's fun and you're meeting people and social. I think that's great. Maybe you have a friend that you want to walk with or run with or dance with, take a dance class, whatever it is, find something that you will like to do. Some people like lifting weights, that's great. Again, as long as you're sweating and out of breath for 15, 20 minutes, then 4 times a week, then you're good, right? That's it. So go walk, go rake leaves today for a half hour and you're sweating out of breath and you just exercised, right? It doesn't have to be like in a certain outfit doing something at a gym. That's not, I hate gyms. I don't like gyms. I like yoga studios, but I don't like gyms. But we have yoga classes here in the mornings. So find something that you enjoy, all right?
You could get a Tai Chi class.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. You can do anything. If you know someone, you can let them know. Maybe you can come here. All right, here you go. Lock the doors. No, I'm kidding. Too much sugar. Sugar feeds cancer.
Yes, it does.
If you're eating sugar, you're not behaving like a responsible adult. And that's it, right? So you shouldn't eat no sugar. Sugar, maybe a little bit of sugar, but sugar, you know what sugar includes? Honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, bananas, all refined carbohydrates. That's the next slide, but oatmeal, brown rice, white rice, whatever, wheat, sprouted wheat, corn, thank you.
What do we eat?
Meat and vegetables. All of those things turn to sugar, and sugar causes massive inflammation in your body. It causes toxicity in your body, and it feeds cancer, and it destroys your gut. It does everything. It hits all the big ones. It destroys your gut. It weakens your immune system. You eat sugar for the next 6 hours, you're gonna have no immune system. It like shuts it down. So it destroys your gut. It shuts down your immune system. It causes toxicity. It causes inflammation. It hits on all the bad things. So what can you eat?
Yeah.
Celery. No, I'm kidding. What you can eat, that's it. Kale and ground and grass-fed beef. No, you can eat xylitol. You can eat stevia. You can eat erythritol. You can eat monk fruit. Like we have a bunch of stuff here that's already made that has no grains and no sugar, but you can make all this stuff yourself.
You can grow them. You can grow stevia in your garden.
Yeah, you can grow stevia, but you can make like, so I like brownies, and I like donuts. So I just looked up Keto Donuts. That's what I think, right? I just Googled it. I found a recipe, and so I made these donuts, and then I ate them, and they just tasted like a muffin to me. So then I deep fried them in coconut oil. Remember we did that at Joy's house one night? That was good, right? So you take them and well, that's not a donut. It's like a muffin in the shape of a donut. But healthy fats are good for you. So I took this muffin thing and I deep fried it in coconut oil and sprinkled some cinnamon and some powdered xylitol on it, and that tasted like a donut. But it was made with coconut flour and xylitol and eggs and grass-fed butter. So the ingredients in the donut were keto. You could either almond flour, coconut flour, lots of eggs, grass-fed butter, stuff like that. And then you can make anything. And with some cocoa powder, you make them chocolate. So there's recipes for everything that you might want. We even have ice cream here that's keto. There's no sugar, but it's sweetened with all those good things.
Dr. Gundry says eat green bananas. Now I'm just wondering what
Green bananas, because they're not sweet.
I know they're less of the sugar, but
Yeah.
Can you really get nutrients out of?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about it.
Oh yes, that's a staple in the Jamaican culture.
I would cut them, I will buy
Bake
green
them,
plantains
boil
for my
them,
kids.
fry them
Yeah, I cut them and I deep fry them in coconut oil
Yep.
with salt on it.
with the skin on.
Yeah.
There's a banana.
Green
Yeah.
bananas. Green.
So you don't just have to eat kale, right?
Make a porridge.
There's a lot of things that you can eat. Like again, we have ice cream, we have brownies already made, right? There's crackers, there's all kinds of stuff. There's bread. that we have made, that's already made, that's like coconut flour and almond flour.
Some almond flours.
So that's what you eat, but what you have to eat is vegetables, right? You have to eat vegetables,
Yeah, lots
but
of
don't
vegetables.
eat sugar. See, refined carbohydrates, same thing as sugar. Same thing as sugar, same problems as sugar, it's all bad.
Can you have squash?
You can have squash.
Butternut squash?
Butternut squash, like all the winter squashes are really good. Like, I eat a lot of spaghetti squash. Yeah, you eat spaghetti squash. Right, so that's like carby, but not, it doesn't have that same effect and it's not inflammatory for your body. And like once in a while, like every few weeks, I'll have some potatoes. You know, it's not like you never eat carbs, it's just you eat like less. And then your body will crave it every few weeks and you eat some carbs, and then you won't want it again. Like, but that's, I have a whole talk on eating this way, the very specifics on eating this way on YouTube. But I want to, yeah.
Can you fry, is fried foods bad if you fry with coconut oil?
No, fried food, as long as you're frying good, healthy food,
It's not bad.
is very good for you, but it has to be in the right kind of oil. One of the biggest, here's another big risk factor for cancer is vegetable oils and trans fats, canola oil, soy, sunflower, safflower, all the vegetable oils, peanut oil, corn oil. It's all massively inflammatory. It's toxic. It's terrible.
Is peanut butter bad?
No, peanut butter, if I get that peanut butter, I got the peanut butter that's like, has oil on top, I pour it out and I put coconut oil in and mix it up.
Oh, pour it out.
Yeah, just pour it out. And then I add coconut oil. So it's not, so it's like more oily. But good oils are coconut oil, avocado oil. To cook with, you can deep fry with it. You can eat olive oil, but you don't want to cook with olive oil. Good question? Because it turns it into a trans fat. It's a very delicate oil. So if you like olive oil, pour it on your food after. Put it all over your salad. Drink it if you want, but don't heat it. You have another question?
What about the pans that you're frying?
Yeah, that's another toxicity issue. Whatever that non-stick stuff, that causes cancer. Whatever that non-stick stuff is, I would use like cast iron or ceramic
What about stainless steel?
or stainless steel. Yeah. This, you guys good? Is it too much?
No,
Good.
it's not.
Good? Alright. So, but there's options. So, yeah, deep fry with avocado oil.
So the frying
And
process
coconut oil.
itself is not.
Frying is great because it adds more healthy fat to your body, and your body needs more healthy fat so that you don't crave the carbohydrates. You want to burn fat. It's an efficient, wonderful fuel for your body. Sugar burns like a dirty fuel for your body. You want to burn ketones, which is fat. That's ketosis. You want your body just burning fat. And then you're never hungry, you don't crave anything, you have a ton of energy.
Duck fat is good too.
Yeah, we have, right, duck fat, pork, that's natural, pork lard, that's pastured, we have that here. That actually has vitamin D in it, if it's pastured pork lard. We have grass-fed beef tallow, you can cook with that. You can cook with all those animal fats if they're naturally raised animals. And then you can put that on your skin. I put grass-fed beef fat on my skin every day. It's my secret. It doesn't smell like beef, but it's rendered down. But all that stuff is really good for you. It tastes really good, and you can cook with that. So there you go. So we have like, so here we have like a little area of there with like potato chips and corn chips and popcorn. We've just found products, there's not a lot of them, that have no vegetable oil in it. So yeah, it's carby, but every few weeks I'll eat a bag of potato chips, some popcorn, but only with good oils, right?
How about popcorn from the kernels? No good?
It's still corn. It's still corn. You can have it sometimes, right? Sometimes, as long as it's organic, but it's not like a daily food. But I have it sometimes. I have it sometimes. Last night I had it. A bunch of popcorn.
And you
That's
said
great.
vitamin C is any suggestions for supplements or?
Over there.
Yeah, like so there's different kinds of vitamin C. So vitamin C every day to like always be killing cancer cells. So you could take like a regular C in a pill. I take Liposomal C. It's in that orange box over there. So what that does, liposomal, because C is water soluble. So in order to get enough C to really help your immune system and to maybe kill cancer cells that are developing, you have to take a lot of it. You'll have to just take it all day, because then if you take too much, you'll just pee it out. So liposomal C, which I take every day for years, is in a fat and it goes right into your cells.
And where is that?
It's
The orange and white box.
There's different ones. Which one is this?
there's these two. Oh, you wanna pass them around? You wanna look at it?
No.
I bought it from making
Yeah, you can pass it around. So
Making
those are liposomal in fat. It goes directly into your cells, and you can accumulate. You can get more vitamin C rather than just taking it all. I still like to pop chewable vitamin C.
What about, buffered vitamins?
Yeah, that's good too. That's good too. But it's still water soluble. You just have to take it frequently. That's all.
How much should you take a day?
I take one of those things.
But how many, is it milligrams?
I don't know. It says 1,000 milligrams, but it's the equivalent of 6,000 because it's fat and you don't pee it out, whatever. But I also have like that chewable.
Can you give it to kids too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I take this stuff. This is like a chewable vitamin C that has no sugar in it. And like I just pass it out. Like everyone's like, here. I take it all day. Give it to my kids all day. Just I don't want to get sick, you know. I'll pass that around. I don't like getting sick. I see, you know, I'll just like 50 people in the morning, and some people are sick and there's coughing on me. I just don't want to get sick. I don't like feeling sick. I don't like having to slow down ever. So that's why. Okay, here, lack of anti-cancer foods. So what's anti-cancer?
No,
Kale,
I take the Liposomal.
broccoli, cauliflower, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So you can get cauliflower crust pizza. There you go. Put some grass-fed pepperoni on it and grass-fed cheese, and that's healthy, right? So, and also, like when you're eating these vegetables, you can get kale chips that taste like potato chips, right? For my kids, they don't like, you know, they like broccoli, but it has to have a lot of butter on it, but that's good healthy fat, grass-fed butter. Or some melted cheese, that's good health, like grass-fed cheese. That's good, you're adding more good healthy fats. So that's how we get them to eat all that stuff, right? My son, my little one eats cauliflower crust pizza every day. It's like and the number one ingredient is cauliflower.
Wow.
So it's good, you know?
You mean the butter? What did you say the butter
So
was?
it's basically green vegetables.
Just, any green vegetable is good anti-cancer. So eat them every day. Eat a big salad, eat some kale.
Go with something.
What about beets?
Beans, beet greens are great. Any greens are good. Beets are a little sugary. I wouldn't eat too much of it. I eat a lot of salad. It's good to eat salad. You know why? Because salad is raw and has a lot of enzymes that helps you digest all your other food. Anytime you cook something, it kills the enzymes.
You can make the juice, beet juice.
Right, you can juice it. I juice 4 days a week. I just drink juice for lunch.
Is tuna better?
Tuna has to be mercury free.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, fish. I know everything always turns into nutrition talk. Fish has to be wild, caught. No farm-raised fish. Beef has to be grass-fed. That's it. The other stuff is poison. Chicken and pork have to be pastured. So we have a grass-fed meat program here. So you can pre-order stuff. It's much cheaper. We have really good prices, so you can get these meats and it doesn't have to cost $50 for steak like at Whole Foods. Right, so, but grass-fed beef, wild fish, pastured chicken, organic eggs. We even have pastured pork bacon with no nitrates, no chemicals and sugar in it, right? So there's a lot of good options. But yeah, fish has to be wild and tuna has to be mercury-free. We actually have tested tuna that's been mercury tested. Because it's a big fish and it can accumulate metals and stuff like that. A lack of prebiotics and probiotics. If you don't have good bacteria in your gut, your immune system won't function, you won't be able to digest your food, and you won't be able to get those nutrients from your food, right? So everyone has to take a probiotic. If you want to behave like a responsible adult, you have to take a probiotic every day. My friend was doing this training on this, and he said that, and I was laughing. I was like, I love that. Because it's true. It's like, I don't want to be a responsible adult. I want to do all these things. So if you take a probiotic every single day, we have good probiotics. We have some that are probiotic and prebiotic. We have like Mega over there, which is like a soil-based probiotic. That's what I take. Like there's a good PB Assist Junior for kids. It's like a powder that tastes like whatever those pixie stick things, but this sweetened with xylitol. Okay, I take one of those every day too. Does it taste good? So if I don't need it, if I don't need it, I take it.
What's the difference between prebiotic and probiotic?
So a probiotic is good bacteria. A prebiotic feeds the good bacteria to get them stronger.
Comes in foods.
Yeah, there's like some food has it. We have a supplement that has pre and pro. There's like a powder that's just a prebiotic. You have a probiotic you like.
Yeah.
You know. So that helps your gut. Helps your gut. It helps you sleep. It helps your immune system fight cancer. It helps your body. It helps you crave less sugar. Like having a healthy gut is, like we said, is extremely important. Okay, risk factor, tobacco and alcohol. You can drink a little bit, like maybe an ounce or two of like vodka, as long as there's no sugary syrup in it. And that's actually, can be good for you. It causes a little hormetic effect, which it puts a little stress on your body in a good way. But if you drink more than that, you're just it's no good. So like maybe an ounce or two of vodka a night, or like 4 ounces of organic wine. I don't drink any alcohol. I just never liked alcohol. But if you like alcohol, drink 4 ounces of good organic wine. You can even do that every night. That's fine. But more than that, you're taking away the good effects. Because a little bit of that is going to cause a little stress, and it's going to make your immune system a little strong, and that's fine. But too much, you just or once in a while, fine, right? Go out with your friends and have beer, whatever. But if you do too much, you're going to damage your liver and you're going to damage your body. And smoking, you should never smoke, or vape, or whatever that. Any of that. There's no safe levels of any kind of thing that you smoke. That's it.
No, So have one glass of wine,
So yeah, a little glass of wine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Endocrine disruptors. This is what causes a lot of hormone issues. Is plastic, right? Is putting plastic in the microwave, and these same plastics, the same stuff that's in plastic is pesticides. It's the same endocrine disruptors. Causes all this hormonal issues. So yeah, be careful. Like if you have like plastic water bottles in your car in the sun, it leaches more plastic and more chemicals into the water.
I throw them out. When I used to leave them sometimes and
Yeah.
get hot, I threw them out.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew that the heat. You
Yeah.
see the grocery stores, they'll leave out
Right in the front.
pallets of those water
I
bottles
know.
out in the front.
So you're
in the
just
sun.
drinking endocrine disruptors and damaging your body.
The water in the
So just get
plastic, that's
water,
right.
get water in glass, or just
Re
just-
has those bottles,
Okay.
So that right on.
BPA free.
yeah, BPA free. That's good. Definitely
Sounds
do
good
that.
to
I don't do any
water
plastic like
in a
that.
Plastic
It's like,
bottle.
I don't know, just freaks me out.
Oh,
I have like I use like stainless steel water bottle of glass, and I have well water in my house. You can just get a filter
Just
and just
fill it.
bring yourself water,
Right.
bring water, right?
Get one of those.
Because if you're doing that every day,
Plastic bottles.
it's like you're,
yeah.
it's not like once in a while. If you're doing it every day, you're just disrupting your hormones constantly. And then like glyphosate, this is one of the main, this is why wheat is bad now. Like if you go to Italy, if you like have like this really bad wheat allergy, and then you go to Italy and you eat pasta, you're fine. But you can't eat it here because everything is tainted with glyphosate, which is, there was all these videos, you can watch all these videos on YouTube on how bad this stuff is poison. And it's like genetically modified into different things. It's just terrible for you. This is why you can't really eat wheat anymore. Even sprouted, you can't eat because it still has glyphosate in it. I didn't want to play all these videos. There's all these videos. Terrifying. It's interesting because if you, like here, see, look at the guy. He's like wearing like protective, like he's like breathing in an oxygen tank.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Because he can't breathe that stuff in, because he'll die. But what, like, and they're walking around with these suits on. There's like other pictures of them walking around with suits, and they're walking with these suits spraying. I'm like, what? So that magically becomes fine when they just move it away and put it in the grocery store? Oh, I love magic. That's like insane. He has to wear that in the truck bed, spraying it, or he'll get cancer. So just stay away from wheat and get stuff that's organic.
That's the answer.
Yeah, but you're barely having a thing, if you don't plant it yourself here.
Right now, you can find organic. It's always better to plant it yourself.
Yeah, but it's hard to find organic.
It is. It
They
is.
said it's organic, but it's not.
Right, but at least
You know
it's
what I'm saying?
at least it's better. It's better than the stuff that's not organic. That's what you have. You know what I mean? What's the option? Right? It's better than the stuff that's not
Like
organic.
Whole Foods,
Trader
25%
Joe's.
of their stuff are not organic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but if it says organic, it's been certified a certain way, but there still might be something in it, but it's better. And you can find local farms that don't use any pesticides, and they're not considered organic because they can't pay for the whatever licensing or something, but they're still organic.
I can read some of them.
I know, right? And this is why you eat good beef. RBGH is that hormone they give to cows to make them bigger faster. That just gives you cancer, right? It causes cancer, it causes hormonal cancer. That's why you only want to eat grass-fed beef. All right, so, can you hand out those risk factor things, guys? We have a little individual risk factor sheet that you can fill out and see what your individual risk factor is. And then we'll be done in a few minutes. So we'll hand that out. You guys fill that out. And then you can ask me some questions while you're filling it out. And then I will make it back up.
So, Dr. Allie, with the type of food we're eating currently, most of us are eating, what has it done to the mortality rate?
Oh, what has it done to mortality rate? More people are getting diabetes, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disease than ever before. Oh, you guys have pens? Some pens? Than ever before. People are dying younger. Children are getting sicker. Children are getting adult onset diabetes.
Yes.
More children are getting cancer. There's just more of everything. There's more asthma. There's more everything. Obesity, all of it, right?
You want to use my pen and I'll do
How do we cut it? We're here, you're teaching us on how do we reverse the cycle for the
For the kids,
population at large?
we just educate. You just share. You take this video and you share it with everyone you know. You bring people in here. You tell people the truth, even if they don't want to hear it. They don't have to hear it right away, but you tell people. You teach your children. You just tell your children, like,
More work for healthcare providers.
right. It's not, we're not gonna change it from the top, because it's too much, it's a big cancer industry. It's a billions of dollar industry. It's a lot of people, you know how many people would be out of work if they said, okay, no more chemo and radiation? You know, doctors, 97% of doctors said they would never do chemo radiation for them or their families if they had cancer. They would never do it ever. 97% of doctors said that. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, but I don't do that. This is not good. Judy,